Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be checking out a 51.2 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate golf cart battery from Temgo. So let's go ahead and open it up and see what we have. First of all, I just want to let you know that the box is a square box and it does have handles on each side so you can pick it up because it's about 110 pounds, I believe. So just keep that in mind when you have it delivered. All right, and after you open it, the first thing you'll see is your Temgo user's manual and golf cart battery installation instructions. And I believe there is a user's warranty in here as well. All right, when you lift up that big piece of styrofoam, you will see your golf cart battery along with two boxes right here. And I believe this is the battery charger and some accessories like a screen. So let's go ahead and put all this on the bench and open them up. So now that we got this battery on the bench, let's go ahead and get the physical dimensions and the weight. All right, it's 21 inches in length. It's also about 8 3/4 of an inch in height, and the depth is around 10 3/4 inches. Is 79.5 pounds. All right, and just a heads up, this is not going to be my typical review video. It's going to be more like a use case video where I'm going to kind of show you the things that you can do with this battery besides using it as a golf cart. This is a golf cart package, which is really nice because the golf cart package includes an 18 amp charger, which is an expense that you don't want to have anyway. So go ahead and get that golf cart package basically just for the charger as well. Because I want to show you that this can be used for a golf cart, but it can be used for so many other things. Now, before I actually start working with the battery, let's go ahead and see what else came in the box. Like I said, here is your user's manual. Here is your warranty card right here. Here is your service information, and on the back it does show you the golf cart battery installation instructions. All right, in this smaller box that you get, it is the external display for all your information. It also comes with two ratchet straps, so you can actually strap it down to the battery compartment of your golf cart. Then it comes also with some various screws. These are probably for the battery charger. These are probably for the screen to attach it to somewhere. And then here are your post bolts. You have two sets, one a little bit longer than the other, and you also have your post bolt covers. In this other box, we do have our charger right here. And this is a waterproof charger, so it can be installed directly into your golf cart, but it can also be just used in your house by just plugging it into the wall and connecting these ring terminals to the battery. And there is a disconnect right here if you choose to use it. This is a 56.8 volt 18 amp charger. So it should charge this battery up in about 5.5 to 6 hours. All right, the first thing that you should do when you receive any battery is check the voltage on the terminals to make sure that it is working. What I want to do though is I'm going to go ahead and test the voltage and compare it with the voltage that's on the app. Yeah, because this is actually a Bluetooth smart golf cart battery. So I installed the app already. And the nice thing about the app is that you don't have to log into anything. You just give it permission to connect to your Bluetooth and you're off and running. So let me show you just exactly how easy it was. I installed it. So let me go ahead and put that on the screen right now. It comes up with this, and then it will automatically find your battery. It might not be activated already, but all you gotta do is push on that little slider and it will work. And then just press the dashboard button at the bottom and your information will show up instantly. This battery right now, straight out of the box, is at 55% state of charge. And it shows that it's 54.7 amp hours out of 100 amp hours. It also does show that it's the MOSFETs are set for charging and discharging. Those are both on. If you scroll down, you can see a whole slew of information about this battery. You can see the total voltage, the total power, the total current, the number of cycles. This battery can handle usually about 5,000 cycles. And that means like when you drop it down to less than 20% and you charge it to more than 80%, that's one cycle. So odds are you're not going to cycle it every day. And you got to think, if you don't, let's just say if you cycle it every third day, that's 15,000 days. Anyway, it still shows you the average voltage of each cell. It gives you the cell differential, and it also shows you the low and the high voltages of each cell. And then it shows you the temperature. And I know this is in Celsius, but here in the United States we use Fahrenheit. But I know that we can switch that to Fahrenheit if we wanted to. It doesn't really matter because it shows you Celsius and Fahrenheit of each temperature sensor in the battery, just right below that. And then at the bottom of that, it gives you the cell list and it shows you the voltages of each cell. That's a lot more information than a lot of these battery apps give you. So it does say that the voltage of this battery right now is 52.6. Let's go ahead and confirm that. And my meter shows the voltage at 52.53. All right, now that we know that this battery is operational and it looks like everything is good to go, I'm gonna go ahead and charge it up using the battery charger that I got with the package. And then I wanna show you kind of what happens when it reaches 100%, because that balancing feature should start kicking in. So let me get this charged up to 100 and we can see what's going on. So once that battery got to 100%, the amperage going from the charger to the battery started to decline. And that's when the battery balancer started kicking in. Now, if you're not sure what a battery balancer does, it takes a little bit of energy from the top voltage cell and gives it to the bottom voltage cell in the pack. So when that thing got to almost 100%, it was just trickling some amperage into that battery. You can see that the voltage difference was 0.099 volts between the highest and lowest cells. And as it slowly trickled down, right here, it was only charging 2 amps. But if you look at the next frame, it was charging at 1.8 amps and the voltage went up to 0.1 volts. And then it was down to trickling of 1.6 amps and the voltage was 0.11 volts of difference between the top and low voltage cells. And then at the very end, once it was completely done charging, the voltage difference was 0.143 volts. But now that it's done charging, that battery balancer is going to continuously work to make sure all those cells are as even as possible. So I went down the next day, and here was what my voltage difference was. It was 0.014 volts. And that's what you want your battery to be at when it's at 100%. All right, so this Temgo battery is working just fine. I did a capacity test and it gave me like 103 amp hours, which is fine. But that's not really what all this video is about. This video is to really show you that just because this is a golf cart battery, they're selling it as a golf cart battery, you can use it for so much more. And behind me, I have just a few things that you can use your golf cart battery for once either that golf cart season is out of play or you need it during a storm. So let me just show you a few things. So first of all, we just have our typical 2000 watt 48 volt AC inverter. Now this thing, it's basically like putting another 15 amp circuit in your house. You can wire it directly to that battery and it will give you an additional 2000 watts of energy to use when that power goes out. And that 2000 watts can go a long way. It can light up your TVs, your internet, and a bunch of lights. So don't think this is just a small little unit that can't do much. It can do a lot. And the reason I'm showing you these small units is because you don't have to go out and buy a $1,000 or $1,500 all-in-one unit. You can just buy something like this to get you through the storm. And just like this unit right here, it can supply another 2000 watts, and actually you could connect this one and that one on the same battery and the battery would still be just fine because it's a 200 amp continuous battery. Anyway, this one, you can actually use another 2000 watts and you can actually plug it into the wall When the power turns back on, this will automatically switch over because this has a built-in automatic transfer switch. Or you could use something like this. It only gives you 1200 watts, but it will charge and discharge at the same time. So when the power's on, it will keep your battery nice and topped off. But if your power ever goes out, it will automatically start using the energy from the battery. So you'll never even notice anything that's plugged into this when the power's out. And last but not least, you can actually plug it directly into a power station. Now there are certain power stations where the MPPT controller in the back can handle between 12 and 60 volts, like this OSCAL. That means that I can just wire up this battery directly to this. So this is almost like my solar panel right here. So what I want to show you is I'm going to go ahead and connect the heat gun, and we're going to watch this monitor because the OSCAL will pull the power from these outlets, but you'll see that the battery is actually being drained because it's charging the unit just as fast as it is being withdrawn from the unit. So let's try that out. All right, so let's first go ahead and power this heat gun right here with on a low load. And I'll go ahead and put the app on the screen, but you can see that we are powering 759 watts going to that heat gun right there. Now, what I'm going to do next is I've already got this wire connected to this Temgo battery. So I'm going to go ahead and just plug it into the XT60 connection on the back. All right, it's connected. All right, and now that we have a connection, it's starting to deliver the battery's power to the unit. So you can see on the app that we're actually getting 800 watts from the battery, and it's putting it into this unit. So what it's essentially doing is it's taking 800 watts from the battery, it's powering the heat gun, and it's giving the additional 43 or 44 watts, and it's actually charging the batteries inside the unit. That's why you can see input power 799, output power 757. The rest of that energy is actually going into charging the unit. So I basically just added another 5,000 watt hours of capacity to this power station. And again, this power station is only like $400. So a very powerful unit for a 48 volt battery and a small power station. So if you have a golf cart and you want to upgrade to a lithium iron phosphate battery, this Temgo 48 volt lithium iron phosphate battery is a very good option. It comes with everything that you would need to upgrade your golf cart, including the charger and the display. It also does have a Bluetooth option to connect to your phone. But also, this battery is a great option for emergencies. You can just pull it directly out of your golf cart, plug it into a 200 watt pure sine wave inverter, and you could power your TV, internet, some of your lights, and some small kitchen appliances with no problem. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions about the Temgo 48 volt lithium iron phosphate battery, please go ahead and leave them in the comments. I'll have a link to this item and everything else I used in my description, just in case you want to look further into it. Thanks again, and have a great day. Bye-bye.